For us cops, there is nothing worse than having a criminal in our ranks. And in today's video, we have a corrections deputy facing some serious accusations, and we'll see just how the officers deal with this tricky situation.
I want to talk to you, buddy. How are you going back? I'm Sergeant Old Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Major Collins, Detective Joseph. Dylan?
Yes, sir. What's going on? I was on the phone with my friend.
Okay. You know the phone call?
I just hung up as soon as I walked up.
So there's some allegations with domestic violence here. So I'd like to talk to you and get your side of the story.
Okay.
You want to talk to us?
Sure, absolutely. What's going on?
Okay.
Well, that's what we're going to go talk about.
I haven't been
go
here.
to the office. I know that. I've been here waiting for you.
Okay.
So
Is she okay?
She's okay. But the allegations are serious and we have to talk to you about them.
Okay.
Okay? Because you got a firearm, I'm going to take it.
Oh.
Good. Very good move.
We're going to go over here. Make sure you have no other weapons.
Yeah.
Is anyone else in your car?
No one's in my car.
Okay.
I just picked up my car. Keys are right here. My wallet's in my car. I got no weapons in my car. Can I shut it off?
Yeah, we'll shut it off. You want to secure your car?
Yeah.
We're just going to make sure you have nothing
Yeah,
on
I
you.
got you.
Because you know how this goes.
I understand.
We'd like to get both sides of the story. And we never want to go by one side of the story. But we have to treat it as a criminal investigation. You
Right.
understand
I
that?
understand.
Okay, so very seasoned detective, he is telling them that he has to treat this as a criminal investigation. Why is that important? Because you first do the criminal portion of the investigation, and then you deal with the administrative investigation after that, which is your internal affairs complaint investigation.
I know you probably do understand everything, but I have to make sure I tell you that. You know what I mean? You have no knives?
No, sir.
Okay.
I just had the firearm.
Hey, I appreciate your cooperation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And let me check. Because we're going to take you in an unmarked car, okay? To keep it discreet.
Okay.
And we're going to go back to the office.
Right.
Okay? Cooperation goes a long way with me.
Absolutely.
So does the truth. I'm a truth seeker.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
believe you just as much. Detective Resty is going to double check you because you're a law enforcement officer, you know.
Go ahead.
You go back to the car.
Oh, okay.
If you're good with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, my. What?
We'll talk about it.
talk about
If
it.
we do it out here, it's not professional, man.
I mean, I understand that.
Yeah.
One of several reasons why the detective said that he's a truth seeker is because he wants to build that rapport, make him feel comfortable, get to know him, and get a statement, because both detectives are going to go to the district attorney's office and file the cases for these criminal allegations. That's super important to know because we are going to try to get a voluntary statement.
I know you've been. I know. That's why we're going to give you the opportunity, brother. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're not here to hurt you.
Can I put this in my pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
My car's right here.
The Toyota?
Yeah. You want to sit in the back?
Yep.
Here's the footage from the day before, where a visibly shaken woman reported her accusations.
Prior to taking the sworn statement, I'm going to place you under oath. I don't think we need to do that at this point. We're going to deviate just a little bit because I don't want to put you under oath right at this point because of what's going on. But what we're here for is an allegation that you're being physically abused by a partner of yours that you're currently residing with, and that member is a member of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. That's why we're here. Okay, so it's my understanding that a current injury brought some suspicion by other members that were concerned for your safety, and that's why it's now in our hands and we're here talking to you about it. So we're just doing some fact finding at the moment. I heard you went to the hospital Monday. Was it Monday?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to talk about on that injury?
No.
Okay, so you got nothing to say about it whatsoever? Is there anything that you feel the sheriff's office should be involved in?
No.
Okay, so as you can see, these type of interviews are very fragile. They're very, you have to be very empathetic as a detective, and he's doing a great job. The reason why I brought up the under oath to do this investigation is because you definitely want to get her to tell you the truth, right? We are truth seekers. However, this is very delicate, and you can tell she's not cooperating because she doesn't want to get her boyfriend in trouble.
We can do to help you out with anything. I mean, at this point, if without you divulging any information and talking about what we're kind of hearing on the sidelines, Is there any help that the sheriff's office can help you to get out of that situation? Okay. Would there be anyone that you would feel more comfortable to talk to about it, or you're telling me that nothing physical is going on, there's nothing criminal going on by the other person?
I just don't feel comfortable talking about it.
Okay.
And that could be the perfect answer coming from a victim that she's just completely in fear. Good part on the investigator for asking her, you know what, maybe someone else can do this investigation. Someone like maybe a female partner where she feels a little bit more of a responsivity, right? More of a connection. So that's a very good thing to do, or a very good thing to ask.
You know, our biggest concern is making sure that you're okay. So,
And I know you have children involved, and that's a huge concern in this whole thing. Are they home tonight? No, they're not? Are they with the father? Is that what that, okay, all right. So there's no issues there, correct? Okay. The situation at home right now, are you safe if you go home?
Yes.
You don't have any fear of there being any violence or anything like that? Because, you know, we could get you help tonight, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay. Can I ask who you're currently right now that you're residing with?
Do I have to answer that, or?
I'm not putting you under oath right now. So, I mean, I've heard that he's an employee. I've heard he's an employee in corrections. Right? Dylan, is that who I'm?
Still in
And there's nothing you want to discuss with us in this atmosphere right now? Okay. Do you swear or affirm that the statement you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the supervisor being a really good supervisor reporting this.
Is dealing with an employee of the sheriff's office who is subordinate to you, Rebecca. Something has been brought to your attention involving her and her current boyfriend, which is Dylan, who is a corrections deputy currently working for the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what, in your own words, recently happened that was brought to your attention about those two?
Over the last few weeks, I've just noticed marks on her.
What specifically were those marks that you noticed initially?
One eye.
Okay. Something about, what was another injury? Her,
Well, she mentioned about a busted eardrum.
okay,
And then off duty, we had went out and she had some bruises on her arms.
right. And what, when you saw those off duty, did those bruising look like?
Like fingerprints.
Like she had been grabbed on the shoulder or something like that?
Yes.
And at the time that those happened, which had been several weeks, correct? Those a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
Probably within the last 4 weeks.
Okay. So within the last several weeks, you noticed those injuries. Did you have any concern, or did she being Rebecca, did she discuss how those happened initially?
No.
And then tonight being before midnight or after midnight, that a certain
Before midnight.
So before midnight, which would actually be 7/18, so the day before. What was brought to your attention at that time?
And she was sitting next to me and she had just come in and
And what time does her shift start?
6:30.
6:30. Okay, so she had been there just a short time, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
And had just mentioned about him having car issues. She had to take him to school. Can't really recall how I said it. I think I had said to her maybe about, did he give you a black eye?
Right.
And she had said, shook her head yes. And then I said, and what about the busted eardrum that you said that you had a few weeks ago? Did he do that too? And she said yes.
Good part on the supervisor, as you can tell, Rebecca really confided in her, and she has to come forward because it's a way of her asking for help through her supervisor and left her with no choice but to do the right thing.
And then but she never said anything that you recall about her still being in fear of what he's going to do. To you, her concern is she just doesn't want him to get in trouble and lose his career over these actions. Is that how you're feeling? Not that she is in immediate need of assistance from the sheriff's office?
I can't recall with everything said if she mentioned being in fear of going home at all.
It's a good question
But
because
she
you want
hasn't
to
said that
mitigate
to you
all that fear.
since.
No, I don't think she's made that comment.
Ultimate goal is that she is
Not to
okay
know
and her
how
kids.
he's gonna react once this comes out.
Gotcha.
All right, my man. All the other paperwork he needs is in. All right. All right, we're gonna go out this way. why I'm parked in by the back door here, man.
Okay.
So we're gonna go right out here, but come over here and put your butt in first, then scooch in.
Good rapport on the investigators. They did an outstanding job.
I'll figure it out. All right, man. Yep.
Okay, when Dylan's case made it to court, he was charged with 5 felony counts, including felony battery, domestic battery by strangulation. Okay, he fought the charges for almost 2 years before he ultimately pleaded no contest. He was then found guilty and sentenced to 364 days in jail, followed by 4 years of probation in order to pay approximately $716 in court fees. You know, in our culture, we have this saying, nobody hates a bad cop more than a good cop. And in this particular situation, I can tell you from experience, having worked in internal affairs, is that your off-duty behavior, whatever that behavior is, whether it's criminal or it can be unbecoming for that matter, you know what? We're going to put a scope and really scrutinize and pass judgment on you. And in this particular case, these are bad actors and these are bad apples that we don't need in our profession. So I hope you learned something. Let us know what you think. Comment below, push the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next breakdown.